What's going on, everybody? This is my second day out here in Hanoi, Vietnam. Beautiful day, beautiful weather. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys remember, I was showing you the Gong Cafe, which is like the Vietnamese brand that is right by the church. And if you go on the second floor, you get a view of the church. But I didn't went inside, but today I'm gonna go inside and probably see if they have lunch or coffee. And then from there, I'll figure out where am I gonna go, what to do next in this beautiful city. But it's a gorgeous afternoon, noontime. The weather's just perfect. Like, it's not hot, not cold, so I'll show you. Here you can see it's not busy yet, but I like looking at the streets with the motorbikes. And of course the flags hanging out here because they're having their celebration. 50th anniversary of reunification, so. And they got the people in the motorcycle. Like I said, they drive crazy in the motorbikes out here. And then architecture is just beautiful no matter where we go. So I gotta walk my left and then right straight, and I should be heading straight towards where the church is and the location of the coffee shop. Vibrant streets of the old quarter, but then I gotta make a right here and go straight to the destination that I wanna go. I'm just in love with the intersection they have here in Hanoi and all the shops that they got going on. Literally walked the street yesterday in the evening or in the nighttime. Different vibe, but no matter what time of the day you walk, it's beautiful. Daytime, nighttime. Nighttime is nice because of the lights that they got going on, but yeah. You see what's going on ahead of me. Everything is vibrant. So I'll tell you, you would never get bored with the streets out here with all the alternatives they have to offer, like clothing, shops. Look at this one. They got some pretty comfortable pants. Like, one of those pants are like pretty fresh for the weather, they look pretty cool. Like hippie style, I love the vibe out here. And then the architecture and the trees together, it makes it pretty great for a nice city. At this time it's busy, but obviously it's lunchtime. And last night, even though I didn't film, I had a pho guy with this chicken pho. Right next to my hotel. It was like around past 10 o'clock and it was pretty busy. For 2 meals and 2 drinks, I pay only like $6. And it was really good, the food, one of the best pho I had, but obviously we're in Vietnam, this is where it comes from. So, where you have the food from its origins are gonna taste way better. What is this? Oh, like a nice street there. I wanna go to the coffee shop, but I discovered the street. I don't remember seeing the street last night, but let's check it out to see what's going on. It was really cool. I'm a huge fan of tiny streets like this, so I'll show you. Got the people out there eating food, sitting down. This is the vibe. Look at this wild street art. This is actually really nice. Wow, look at the street. Tiny but really cool. They even got alleyways right here. And then travel agents, a little bit of everything, wow. But this is pretty common all over Vietnam. And if you look up, look at the architecture of the buildings. So they really work hard. And the details of the architecture out here, that's pretty nice. Wow, that's really dope. And over here they got an alleyway with food. That's nice. Yeah, it's pretty nice and pretty chill out here. Then herbal, massage, shampoo. I like how impeccable and clean the streets are. They're pretty nice. Got the street with all the Vietnamese flags. But watch out, it's a motorbike. Crazy because I literally walk around this area, but I didn't notice this tiny street out here. It's just pretty interesting, and there's another street busy ahead of me, so wow. I say sometimes, if you get distracted, you can miss like a hidden gem or something interesting going on, but this is actually, pretty crazy and interesting. I think the best way to do is walk in the corner so the motorbikes can pass by, see? It's like it's sharing it with everybody. The motorbike, they just go really fast out here. They don't care, they'll be humping the horn and, like get out the way and then they pass by on the motorbike, so. Pretty interesting. It's like everywhere you see people, grinding, working hard, selling stuff, trying to make a living. Here ahead of me, look at this. Look at this woman here selling vegetables, nice. And her hat, which I love the hat. And then tons of business out here, but we're gonna make it back to the main street and head towards the coffee shop that I wanted to check out. So this must be a good spot. I have a line of people here grabbing food or buying my mama. Nice. The name is actually hilarious. That too. It must be a popular banh mi joint. But I mean, there's tons of places out here, so I feel like sometimes, you know, they overhype the place. You could just wander around and maybe you discover another spot that's probably the same or better than the regular famous banh mi or any type of food that you're trying to look for spot. So, well, it's pretty busy out here today. Like everybody just chilling and eating, and then you got the cathedral right behind me. I was here last night, so I'm gonna try to make it towards coffee shop in the corner. Let's see if I can grab a seat right in the balcony. Hopefully, let me get some footage here. Wow, look at this. Let me show you this over here. Right next to the church is so busy. Everybody out here eating, getting food. Seems like they got the same. I don't know if they work around here or they're students. It's pretty crazy. They got like the long sleeve shirts. And of course, you're right here by the church. So, and the Vietnamese flag and this motorbike. Nice. So a little change of plans. They only sell coffee here. The one in the Philippines sells like sandwiches, but here it's just literally coffee only. So I guess I'll get something else to eat and then I'll figure out what I'm doing later, you know, what's my plan. But yeah, pretty busy out here. Like I'll show you ahead of me how busy it is out here today. What's today, Tuesday? So crowded, wow. Even got fast food here, Burger King and Popeyes, but yeah. Discovered the map. There's a place that's called Hanoi Opera House. I think it's like a building with architecture. I don't think I'm gonna walk like right in front of it, but I'm not too far from it in location. So I wanna walk around the area to see what's going on. I think it's like in a circle. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be busy with traffic jam, but only one way to find out, and that way I keep exploring more of the neighborhoods out here in Hanoi. It's a peaceful vibe here, but you can see how nice the sidewalks are in the streets, you know, with the beautiful trees. So once I go ahead, I should make a left. I should be passing the park that has a lake and then go straight, and this would be the busy intersection. This area is different from the other streets I was walking. The streets are a little bit more wider, and then you see like the nice balanced architecture. We're literally close to a park that has a lake, but I'm gonna walk straight towards the area that I want to see what are the vibes over there, you know. Look at this busy intersection here with cars and motorbike. And there's a beautiful park across the street with the lake. Hello. That's the first people in Vietnam that wave at the camera. If I would be in the Philippines, literally most of the people they'll be saying hi or just looking at me curious. Good thing we have an intersection here, a lane across the street, and then beautiful architecture with a brand store underneath that's called Uniqlo. The name of this lake, I'm gonna pronounce it horrible. Tap Lua. We're just surrounded by a park. I walked on the other side yesterday, but then, you know, I'm gonna walk straight toward this way, but it's beautiful ahead, so I wanna see over here. But this is the interesting thing. I got across the street, but all the motorbikes are coming. This is the park here. Wow, it looks nice, vibrant, pretty clean. You know, it literally goes all around. I guess I'll call this like the Central Park of Hanoi. And they got also like, I guess it's a coffee shop or something, but let's check out the views over here. See what's going on. This is it right here, the lake and the vibrant city of Hanoi. I don't know if you can see me clear, but yeah, you see what's happening in the buildings behind me. Peaceful and quiet, but then you go around the streets, it's pretty busy with traffic jam around here, but yeah, pretty beautiful city. Like I say, I can't get tired repeating the same thing over and over. You see the vibes of the city and look how busy it is. There goes one of those buses. Wow, I see people jaywalking in the street. It's pretty crazy. I'll tell you, man, it's just the architecture of the buildings you can see behind me. It is crazy. I've never been to New Orleans, but I've seen like some of the architecture and it kind of looks similar, but I think Vietnam is way better than Louisiana. Like I say, I'm not really a fan of domestic travel in the United States. I'd rather travel abroad because it's way cheaper and you see much more and you get more for your money, you know, so. But yeah, it's really nice to walk around the park and see the contrast and the vibes. This tree right here, it's so gorgeous. And I'm going unplanned today, but with so much happening there. And look at the Vietnamese artists cleaning the park, and then they're taking pictures with the 50th anniversary that's happening over here. Wow. They decorated pretty nice, you know, for their special anniversary out here in Vietnam. So once again, congratulations, you know, happy 50 years. Wow, this is beautiful. Seems like every district in Hanoi, it changes from another one. This district is different from the old quarter, but you know, it still has a beautiful architecture. So the streets are a little bit wider. So I'm gonna walk straight towards this way to see what's going on. You can see how I'm surrounded by the traffic and all the motorbikes and stuff. This is actually really crazy. And then you see how nicely they're decorated with the flags. I don't know if you can see it right here. Vietnamese flags like all over. Here we got this street. I'm not gonna lie, some of these streets looks a little bit like, you know, the cities in the Philippines, like Iloilo and Davao, the way how they have the rooftop. But of course, like much more developed, you know, the streets are better paved. You know, I'm not trying to crap on the Philippines because I love that country. It's literally like my second home, but it is crazy how you can see some similarities with different type of countries throughout Southeast Asia. But it's all literally like neighbors and cousins from each one another one. Look at this building, how nice and decorated it is. And then they got some shops, and of course, Vietnamese flags literally all over the city. So, you know, it makes it actually pretty nice. But yeah, wow, this is cool. And I randomly was just checking out the map, and I decided to walk around here, and this is what I discovered. Here you can see how the streets are much wider and different than the old quarter. Look how wide the streets is. But what I like is no matter what part you go, there's still trees all over. Then ahead of me is the intersection that I wanted to see. I think the building of the opera, which has a beautiful traditional architecture, then even in the surrounding area is pretty nice to look at. So I'm gonna walk ahead to see if I can get a better footage, and then I'll figure out where to walk next in this beautiful city. This is the building, the opera house, and look how beautiful this street is. But the gorgeous architecture right here, you know, surrounded all over. So it's like, if you're walking on foot, it's crazy to walk around here. Here I'm shortcutting to this regular street, and this should take me back to another street. I think I'm gonna start heading towards where the train tracks is. I'm not sure what time does the train passes. I think it only passes like a few times a day, but we'll figure it out. I gotta tell you, the weather is just perfect, not hot, not cold, so it's really comfortable for me to walk around here and explore the beautiful streets out here in Vietnam. So I'm just gonna take my time little by little and walk ahead. Then look at the street, how nice it is, you know, the trees, architecture. To my right is a hospital, which I was looking at the map, and it's pretty big. But then this street is actually more quieter than the regular streets in the old quarter, so, wow. And then you see how nice the sidewalks is. Also, another thing, I'm from a town in Puerto Rico, Cabo Rojo, but it's a town that's not far, it's called Ponce, and it's kind of reminding me a lot of the township of Ponce, like the same sidewalk paving, the same structure of buildings in terms of architecture. So, wow, even over here in Vietnam, there are some resembles of Puerto Rico. I wonder what this is. Not sure if it's like a university or college or something, but yeah. But like 2 more blocks, I should make a right, and it should take me like to the railway where they got all the tracks, you know, and the coffee shops. So there is one specific coffee shop I want to try, but I mean, there's tons of them, so I'll see the vibe and how it's going over there. We did a change of plans. As we were walking towards our destination, we spotted this place over here. You know, I didn't film inside, but I did some B-roll, so I'm gonna insert it. And it's like a cat cafe. I've always wanted to go to a cat cafe, and I gotta say, it's literally like a therapy. So they sell coffee, to give you snacks. You can play with the cats, you know, and they chill with you. So it's like a little hidden over here inside an alley, but it was a nice spot, you know. So if you're in Hanoi and you want to try something different, I think it's a really good spot. The cats can really use some company. Keep on with our journey. The next right is where we're gonna go. Wow, look at the street. It's actually pretty nice. But of course, every street that I've been seeing in Hanoi is gorgeous. So the train tracks are literally like a block ahead of me, but I gotta go straight. My thing is, how do I cross the street? Just gotta do what the locals do. This is a nice pedestrian alleyway right here. I don't even have a hair salon, cool. And of course, banh mi literally all over the place, that's dope. Then the restaurant, but it's not too busy over here, but wow. This is actually really beautiful. I tell you, Vietnam has really blew my mind, to be honest. Wow, this is amazing, like the cobblestones of the sidewalk. Then the architecture, you know, it's like both sides you can walk. Then I think the coffee tracks is on the other side. It's amazing. I tell you, the city literally has blew my mind. Look at everything it offers right here, you know. It's like everywhere you go, it's totally worth to look at and explore. So yeah, pretty nice. Wow, look at this. Beautiful. And what I like is how clean and impeccable the streets and the sidewalks are. If you're a fan of photography, if you're working on photography or content, wow, I think Vietnam is a good place to come. Especially the cities, even the quiet residential suburban areas are totally worth it to look at and take pictures and photography. Then the track should be right here. Hopefully it's easy for me to get in. Yeah, I think I could just go in. Let me see. I see the tricycle people hustling already a while. Between this craziness and hecticness of Vietnam. Wow. Awesome. Then I made it to one of my main goals when I was coming to Hanoi, the train tracks. I'm literally multitasking, making a video for TikTok and then recording with my vlogging camera, but yeah. I've always wanted to come here and finally I made it true. This is it right here. So you got restaurants, literally everything, restaurants, even on the second floor. I think in the evening or whenever the train coming, it gets packed here and then people sit on top and then they get views of all of this. Because in the nighttime it's even nicer, you know, lots of lights all out here, comes out to life, so. Yeah, this is actually really cool. Also watch your step, because if you get distracted, you can fall down, you know. And that's the least you want to do, especially when you're on vacation, visiting a gorgeous country and city. The street to the other side, but you gotta watch for the motorbikes out there. Guess what stopped them? Hoi. Hoi, hoi. Hey, oh, hey. Stoppy, stoppy, stoppy. And now we make it to the other side here. See, that is where they got all the coffee joints. So you got a craziness behind me, and then you enter this other alley. I think it's even nicer over here. You can see how busy it is in the scene behind me. It's actually pretty gorgeous. But I think it might get more packed later in the evening and afternoon. So this is also part of the train tracks. A lot of motorbikes they park here and then regular streets. I'm trying to cross that way, but you know, it's a little tough with the bikes. And the car's not gonna do what oh, never mind, I think I'm late. Gonna try to do what the locals do and probably detour in this road out here. It's like a regular street out here. And here I am walking a regular street. I tell you, I've been to a couple of cities around between the States and other countries, and I think there's no whole city around here, no any other city that competes in the level with Hanoi in Vietnam, but I haven't been to Saigon yet, so I can't really compare, but it's like every single street that I walk, even the regular streets, basically whatever, there's something interesting to look at. Like a market right here, meat, beautiful architecture, beauty salons, you know, coffee shops all over. So they got, you know, from older architecture to a little bit of modern architecture. So I mean, yeah, I highly, highly recommend that you guys come to Hanoi. You know, Hanoi is actually really gorgeous city and a lot to do, and it offers a little bit of everything for everybody. Market down here, nice fish. Wow, look at that fish. So they even have a little bit of street art right here in this building. And it's getting humid. Lucky it's not like 100 degrees. I think it's like late 70s, you know. If it were to be hot, I'd probably be giving up on the filming and going back to my hotel room just to rest. But the weather here, you know, it really helps me out with the filming. So I gotta go that way, so this is gonna be a little hard for me to make it that way. Let me see if I can find a pedestrian area where I can cross easily. Also, they got a market here. This happens to be a market. So I guess you go inside and you can see, you know, what they sell. But even outside, they got, you know, vendors. Well, I tell you, this is insanity. I think it's a rush hour in Hanoi. Looks like they're all coming. Let me be careful. I don't want nobody snatching out my camera, but wow, this is crazy. The cars are action-packed. Cars are action-packed. Everything out here, wow. Wow, what are they selling here? Like fried. Can't really see. It's like they deep frying the stuff. And then pretty busy out here. Wow. It's a nice busy right here in the corner. Wow. So it's been another awesome day out here in Vietnam and Hanoi. So I think I'm gonna wrap up the video out here, but tomorrow I'm heading to another city all the way up north, like not too far from the borderline with China. And I think it's gonna be spectacular. And I think it's gonna be a little chilly over there. So that was the end of my video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there, everybody. God bless y'all, and peace.